Welcome to Cows for Dummy, Chick-fil-A's extreme program that not only just teaches our cows how to spell, but how to do intense math like calculus. Today, we're teaching Shoba cow how to do limits and continuity to get ready for the AP calculus exam in 3 weeks. What do you think about that, Shoba cow?
Moo.
Our first topic for today is going to be, how do you know if a limit exists? Something that you have to remember is that if the limit of f of x as x approaches a from the right is equal to the limit of f of x as x approaches a from the left is equal to the limit of f of x as x approaches a, then that's also equal to f of a.
I was trying that and I don't think that's right. I think the right answer is if the limit of f of x as x approaches c from the left is equal to the limit of f of x as x approaches c from the right, then the function is continuous at that point.
The ways that you can figure out this, first, by simplifying. Or you can substitute a 0 for x. If all are equal, then the limit exists at a. So, now that we've gone over that, why don't we try some examples? So this is going to be our first example. Feel free to get your paper out and pencils and try it with me. So the limit of x of 0 goes towards 0 of 4 plus x, the quantity squared, minus 16 over x is equal to, so that's what we're going to try to find out. So first what you have to do is you want to simplify it. So it's going to be the limit as x approaches 0, since 4 plus x squared, that's going to be equal to 16 plus 8x plus x squared minus 16 all over x. Once we have that down, you can simplify it even further. So since you've got a negative 16 here and a positive 16 here, they cancel. So you end up with the limit as x approaches 0 of 8x plus x squared all over x. Now, do you see anything that can be simplified or fixed here? Well, since all of them have an x in it, you can factor out an x. Now that you have the limit as x approaches 0 and 8 plus x, you can start subbing x of 0 in for x's. So first, you've got the limit of x approaches 0 from the right. So what you're going to do is you're going to plug 0 in for x. So you've got 8 plus 0, and that's going to equal 8. And as you can tell, if you would plug in something else, such as 1, on this side, it's 9. When you do the limit of x approaches 0 from the left, you still plug in 0. and you still get 8. The limit of 0 is going to be at 8. So the limit of x approaching 0 from both sides, since they're the same, of x plus 8 is going to be equal to 0 plus 8, or just 8. So the limit of x approaches 0 is going to be 8. So in this way, we know the limit exists. You can figure out if f of x is continuous by using the same process.
The limit of f of x as x approaches c from the left is equal to the limit of f of x as x approaches c from the right, then the function is continuous at that point. Hey Farmer Lauren, let's see if the function is continuous at x equals 0. So what we're going to do is we're going to plug 0 in for c. So it's going to be the limit of f of x as x approaches 0 from the left, and then we're going to see the limit of f of x as x approaches 0 from the right. So if you take it from so we're going to plug that back into our f of x equation. So that would be 0 plus 8, which equals 8. So then this one equals 8, that limit. And then for this one, we're also going to take 0 from the right and plug that into 8, which will give you 8. So as you can see, both limits from the left and the right are 8, which means that the function is continuous.
Great job, Shoba Cow.
Yes.
This will be our last problem. So for this one, the question is, if the limit of x approaches 0 of 1 minus cosine of x all over x is equal to 0, then what is the limit as x approaches 0 of 3x squared plus 5 cosine of x minus 5 all over 2x? Now this question, it looks rather complicated, but it actually is not that bad. What you can do is you can use the associative property to break it up. So you have the limit of x approaches 0 of 3x squared over 2x plus the limit as x approaches 0 of 5 cosine x minus 5 all over 2x. Now for this one, what you can do is you can factor out the x's. So when you factor it out, so once you have that, x over x is equal to 1. So you have the limit as x approaches 0 of 1 times 3x over 2. Like I said previously, you can just plug in the 0 for x. So the limit as x approaches 0 of 3x over 2 is equal to 3 times 0 over 2, which is equal to 0. So now that we figured out this side, we can now work on figuring out this side. So first of all, since the top, it has 5's in it, you can factor out a 5 from the top. So 5 cosine x minus 1 over 2x, and that's still going to be the limit as x approaches 0. What you can do further, since we already know that 1 minus cosine x over x is equal to 0, you can just factor out the 2 as well. So you can get 5 over 2 times the cosine of x minus 1 all over x as the limit of x approaches 0. In this case, since we know that this one is going to be 0, the limit as x approaches 0 is going to be 0. The limit as x approaches 0 of 3x squared plus 5 cosine x minus 5 over 2x is going to be equal to 0.
Calculus rules.